PD Beats here from Pop Turn is speaking to Daniel J. Kim about Season 6, Part 1 of Cobra Kai, which is streaming now worldwide on Netflix. Welcome to the show, man. It's good to see you.
Hey, man. Good to see you, too. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. I mean, it hasn't even been a month that Season 6, Part 1 has dropped, and I feel like it's just been kind of not... Has it even been 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's like literally been... It was just right yesterday, feels like, for me. It feels like I'm still riding off that high from, like, the last week, so yeah.
When does it start kind of officially sinking in that what you kind of worked on? Because it's so fast-paced, there's so much that goes into it. Is it now that it starts to kind of sink in? Like, wow, we did this?
I don't know, man. Does it ever start to sink in? I feel like I still feel just that wave of excitement. I mean, like the response from fans and from friends has been so amazing and filled with like so much love, and I feel so welcomed. And yeah, to have like everyone welcome, like Team Korea and Yoon and everyone else, it's been really amazing. And so yeah, I'm still kind of riding high. We'll see. Give me another like month or so. We'll see where we're
100%.
at.
I mean, we have 10 more episodes to go too, right? So who knows what happens? I kind of want to know about the audition process, because I feel like depending on the project, depending on the timelines, the audition process is going to be different, right? So like, what was it like auditioning for Cobra Kai? Like, did you like audition for the character you got? Did you audition for you? And like, I'm just curious about that specifically.
Yeah. Funny little story, actually. I auditioned for Cobra Kai way back in the day in like 2016, like right when it was first coming out, right? Like before it would have launched. And at that time, I actually, Josa is amazing, but I was auditioning for Kyler. And so I remember discovering the show because I was like, dang, like that seemed like such a fun idea. I love the Karate Kid. Like, what do I be doing? And so I saw Joe did it. Joe nailed it. He's amazing as Kyler. And so I was like, I missed my shot. Like that was it. All right, that's fine. But so I kept watching the show. But then when season 6 came around, they came out with this new character, Yoon Do-jin, and I was so stoked that they gave me the opportunity to. And kind of crazily, I actually only auditioned once. I had a self-tape, which is like super rare, by the way. I had a self-tape, and then I sent it in, and I didn't hear anything. And then in April of last year, they told me we have you pinned for Yoon, which means that I'm maybe one of the final choices. I'm not sure if I'm the choice or if there's multiple. Yeah. And then the strike happened, and it was dead silent, and there was nothing. I know, for everybody, right? But so I didn't hear anything, and I was like, oh, maybe I lost the role. Maybe they rewrote it. I don't know. But then come around in January again, about a week before we shot, I got the call. I was like, hey, you got the role. You ready to fly out next week? And I was like, oh my God. And I scrambled to get ready, and and that was it. That's how I found myself on Cobra Kai.
And there's a lot of like fight scenes and a lot of that too. Do you do any of your stunts on this?
Yeah. So I'm actually when I was really
you do stunts, right?
Well, actually, no, I don't. I don't come from a stunt background. I'm not like Brandon. Brandon's freaking incredible. But no, I did martial arts growing up for about 10 years. Yeah, I did. I have a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo, but I was really rusty. I came about 10 years off of not doing it.
Gotcha.
So I hadn't really...
Because I saw some interviews you did recently where you talked a little bit about your martial arts background. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks. That's really awesome, man. Yeah. So I do have a little bit of a martial arts background, but I hadn't touched it in a really long time, and I was really rusty. So when I got on the show, it was super exciting and super thrilling to be like involved in every single stunt. And the stunt team does an amazing job at prepping you and making sure that you feel super comfortable with everything. And so I ended up shooting probably about 80 to 90% of my own stunts, with the only things being like falls and stuff.
Wow, that's amazing. And I did that interview with Brandon recently, and he was talking about like how quick it felt to film this. Is that safe to say? Like, it's so quick, right?
Oh yeah, man. So I know from other shows that stunts usually takes a couple weeks, maybe a month to drill scenes. I've never done one before. So this is my first time on a stunt show, or a heavy stunt show. And so I was like, okay, like what's the prep time? What's it gonna be? Brandon and I got there. We had our fight together, right? The one in episode 3. We're allowed to talk about it, right?
We're gonna talk about it. We are talking about. This is just the appetizer. We are talking about that. Well, no, because that's a huge that in my opinion is like one of the biggest scenes of the whole show. Because it's introduced. Well, no, we'll talk about it. Continue.
Oh yeah, I love it. Dude, you're too kind. That's so nice of you to say. But yeah, we got that scene the day before. So all the choreography that we had for that night scene, like in Korea, where it's the trio fighting Kwan,
Yeah.
like our head to head, we all learned the day before, and our stunt team was just prepping us in between scenes. And so yeah, it is lightning fast.
Okay.
And just to like put some kudos on the actors on this show. Like a lot of the actors didn't come in with stunt or martial arts experience. They're learning fights on the day of, and they're killing it. And I would have never thought that they had such like little time to prep the amazing work that they do.
Totally.
So, yeah,
I do want to talk about the episode 3 and all that, but I do have 2 questions before that I want to get to, just in case, because I feel like once we get into that, it's just gonna be like
sweet, man. Yeah.
So much happens before you go to camera on season 6 of Cobra Kai, right? Like you're having conversations with other actors, you're having conversations with the stunt coordinators, the crew, the directors, all this prep, right? So in a lot of ways, from the storyteller perspective, Daniel J. Kim as a storyteller actor, you could see it as 2 journeys, right? Before filming Cobra Kai and after filming Cobra Kai. Or do you see it as one big journey with multiple steps? I'm curious about that.
I really like that question, man. Thanks. I mean, I know you're a filmmaker yourself. And
yes.
So like I know like you often think about things in like pre-production, post-production,
yeah.
right? Like you're trying to find like your resources before planning shots, all that stuff, and then after. For myself, I think there's like the prep work too, in kind of like that pre-production way. But I think because of how whirlwind of an experience this was, a lot of it was me like taking things on the fly as it was going. So it was a really organic process of talking to the stunt coordinator, Ken and Don, the fight coordinator, talking to John, Josh, and Hayden about where they thought this character was going, where they wanted me to direct him, and with my own ideas. And it was like this free-flowing like organism. And it was really, really cool. And I think of it like this experience as like kind of one continuous like roller coaster ride. And you guys are in for a real treat. It's a good one.
Does it feel like you're on one of those roller coasters, that unique roller coaster that you can't get off it? That's what it feels like, right? It's got the twists, the turns, the loop-de-loops. You can't escape it, basically.
Oh yeah, when you're watching the show and when we're in filming it, it feels exactly the same. It's just that kind of crazy experience.
It's crazy because I get you said I'm also a filmmaker, but man, I think I get excited about the craft. My questions are very craft oriented, right? Because there's a lot of people that talk about the plots and predictions and everything, but I just love, because it's like, think about it. Isn't it cool to think about like people love your fight scene, right? In episode 3 with Brandon, right? How cool is it to think about how many stories there are that you have behind that scene? No, like, isn't that cool to think about?
For sure.
Like, people are seeing that scene, but you and the crew know there was probably a lot of discussions, a lot of like pivots, a lot of things. Like, I'm just saying, that's the coolest thing to me. Like, they represents all this work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you want to just talk about like the camera team alone, like Abe Martinez, who's our DP, and everyone who's working with him, and our fight team, who's like all prevised this stuff, they're making calls on the fly, combining shots, moving shots, like changing choreography to make it look amazing for camera. There's so many hands and so much work going on behind like making a fight scene like 603 happen.
Yeah.
But I just feel honored to be like a small part of it, and really glad that people love it as much as they do.
When you officially get cast for Cobra Kai, do you think about what I'm about to say? Because I feel like anyone that's on this show, whether they're part of the Karate Kid universe and like the new Cobra Kai universe, like the new characters, I feel like that's such a unique experience from a storyteller actor perspective, because like, you know what's going on a little bit because we know about these Karate Kid universe characters, but at the same time, you don't know what's going on because there's these new characters that we've never seen before. You know what I mean? So it's like, you do know what to expect, but you don't. Do you think about that at all? Because I think that's so interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really that's what a great question, man. For me, it's like I think one of the cool things about this world and the beautiful things about the Karate Kid world is like it has such heart in it all the time. I think there's a lot of dramatic storytelling, great fights, incredible stunts, but like I think Cobra Kai and Karate Kid at its heart is like incredible stories of these characters, and has a ton of heart. And so, I think being able to know of that world and have been a fan of both Karate Kid 1, 2, 3, and then also of Cobra Kai before I came into the show, I think really helped me know like where in the world I wanted to land and like how I wanted to craft like Yoon versus like some of the other antagonists you've seen in the series. And I think a big part of that too is like, you know, just the amazing communication that the people on set have. Like John, Josh, and Hayden in particular were so helpful to me and just answering all my questions about character and all that stuff. So yeah.
All right. So we're gonna talk about it now. Finally.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, let's do it.
All right. So here's the thing. We knew the Sekai Taikai was coming. We know that Miyagi-Do's having a team. We know that Cobra Kai is going to have a team. We don't know who's on each team. We don't know a lot of that. Like we dive into season 6. That's the fun thing about Cobra Kai, right? You said you were a fan before you were on the show. It's not a season of Cobra Kai unless there's a dojo swap, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, with that episode 5 heel turn, you know? So, yeah, like, that's Cobra Kai, baby.
So, I just kind of want to know because, you know, it was just really exciting to me to finally see who's going to be on Cobra Kai because of everything that happened in season 5 and everything with Silver getting arrested, right? So, that kind of scene with you and Brandon that everyone's talking about, that kind of like sets up and introduces Cobra Kai, if you think about it, for the Sekai Taikai. So what is that like? The fact that one scene that you're in is so pivotal for the rest of kind of the episodes after that, like for 4 and 5, and for the rest of the 10 and the predictions. Like, I'm just curious if you think about how impactful that scene is. Maybe you haven't thought about it much until now, but like, I think about that a lot now because it's like Cobra Kai might smoke Miyagi-Do in that tournament. I'm just saying, like, I don't know how they stand a chance at times after seeing what Kreese and Sensei Kim put you through.
Yeah, man. I mean, I love your energy. You're amazing. But for me, it's like, I think one of the things that's so like exciting about this season about Cobra Kai is like, it's a whole new team. We had no idea what was going to happen after, you know, the dojo blew up, after Silver was out. You're like, what's going to happen to it? Cobra Kai might not exist anymore. And then, you know, to see them go to Korea and to have, you know, just to be able to like show and represent, like, you know, just have a bunch of amazing Korean martial artists and like actors like all be here on screen and be able to share that time. And, you know, I had no idea being in it. Maybe some other people did, but I think seeing how overwhelmingly like positive and how sweet the fan response has been, it's been really exciting to have people feel that Cobra Kai is a real threat and that Miyagi-Do is going to be, you know, they're going to have to bring their A game to be in the Sekai Taikai.
But it's like opening up that birthday present, right? A little bit, right? Like you get that birthday, like you know you have a birthday present, but it's like opening it up and it's like, oh, it's like the Cobra Kai team. You know what I mean? Like we know we're going to see a new Cobra Kai team. Like that was my biggest question after season 5. I did a lot of the conversations, like what's Cobra, like who's going to be on Cobra Kai? Because you think about it, you have no idea.
As a fan? Yeah, absolutely. I had no clue. I was like, dude, where's it going to go from here?
You know.
Now I know.
No, but isn't that cool to think? I didn't think about that until after watching the episodes. I'm like, we had no idea what that team was going to look like.
Yeah, I mean, for me as a like just a fan like who was like, you know, rewatching the show, I like as I got back into it, I was like, dang, like I have no idea where it's going to go. And I think that was part of the joy. And so you know, it's awesome that, you know, I think introducing all these characters is real crazy. But
absolutely.
I think like it's amazing that people have kind of fallen in love with Cobra Kai again.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? Honestly, like last question before we wrap up. I mean, this is like the Cobra Kai fans are amazing. And you're real, like, I mean, it's already, like I said, we talked at the beginning of the interview, it hasn't even been a month. And I see you repost, like, there's like edits and like, there's so many things like, but like, what do you think about the global aspect of it, man? Like how there's like fans of this show all around the world. Like it's crazy, right?
Dude, it is so wild. I just had like a couple of people from Brazil like reach out and say like, we love Cobra Kai. And you know, the fans are amazing. You know, I was really like kindly prepped by, you know, the main cast and by Yuji and Una, who were like, just so you know, our fans are amazing, but they go really hard.
And so they're quick. Okay, so, they're fast.
Yeah. Dude, they're on it, man. And so it's been amazing, the fan response. And so I feel like super, super welcomed and super grateful to have been part of this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's pretty incredible.
And, you know, first 5 episodes, part 1 are available now worldwide on Netflix. It was announced recently, very exciting news that we get season 6, part 2 a little earlier. We get November 15th now, which is really exciting. Right. So they moved it up, and then we'll get the final 5 episodes sometime in 2025. But and hopefully we see Yoon go pretty far in the tournament. You never know.
We'll see, man. We'll see. You have to tune in to find out.
Absolutely. Daniel, so great chatting with you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Great chatting with you, man. Thanks so much for having me. You're awesome, dude.
No, I really appreciate that. Your Instagram account is the best way for people to keep up to date with everything. It's been crazy over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are blowing
up. Is it just your name,
there.
Daniel Kim?
Yeah, it's going to be Daniel_J_Kim. You can find me there on Instagram.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Pop Turn at youtube.com/PopTurn for previous episodes. Daniel J. Kim plays Yoon from Cobra Kai in Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 1 streaming out worldwide on Netflix. Until next time, this is Daniel and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.